Wow. I mean ogenza okolere mukama we eyakweyitira. You get it? Nakweteramu ssente. Nakuinvestingamu. Nakuyamba nakujja mu kibi. Kubanga wali okyevuma ng'obwavu bukususeeko. Nokkiriza ogenda osavinge ekyo ky'obadde tolina mu bwagazi bwo osobole okufunamu ssente. So kiri akati if you choose to go that way, there's no way you can convince me that the person who is training you in Uganda is going to tell you how to live, how to work for your boss. Maybe what he's giving you is just ideal, akuwa ebiri ideal, but the practical part of it will never be mentioned to you. It comes as a reality that you have to face directly, straight up front. It comes a day you never expected your boss to rape you. But if you've never heard something about rape and how to calm down yourself, you will end up now fighting with your boss and also ending up overreacting over your boss or even misjudging your boss. You can misjudge your boss. You know, men, we are very funny. Sometimes you want to sympathize with the maid, and this maid now feels love or feels something, or she was tamed or told that wherever this man comes to you, just beat up or run away or do ABCD. So a girl reacts towards the boss in a funny way because she was trained or crammed to act that way. She was how they make the condition these phones. They make them when they have a certain condition to follow. That when you want to do it otherwise, it freezes until you go the right way or you press the right button. So some people are like that. They are fixed in mind. You understand? They are fixed. Okay, it's okay to have a mindset, but which type? It's okay. You can have a mindset because once we learn and expose ourselves to nature, nature is the environment in which we adapt ourselves, not the nature. The difference between nature and nurture is very clear. There's a clear cut. Nature is what we are inborn, what we are born with. You understand? And then nurture comes by the exposure. Whatever you are exposed to and you learn it. Children are born not knowing how to walk, but by nature you find them learning, copying how people walk, and they get strong to walk over. You understand? So the nature exposes them. How they walk helps them to be good people. A child can choose to tame himself to walk like a bouncer, and that boy grows up walking like a stubborn boy, a bouncer. And yet, if he was tamed to walk correctly, he wouldn't be looking like a bouncer. You understand? So nurture is very important. But how you nurture yourself? Do you go yourself? You make yourself fixed in the mind? Do you go like a cassette, this compact tape, which they used to record? You say you record a cassette like recording a song that when you want to listen to, you put in and it starts playing as it was. Do you do that? No, that's being fixed in mind. But if you don't want to be fixed as a migrant worker, you go to learn how to acquire a mind that helps you learn, right? But learn to use what you are learning interchangeably or flexibly, in a flexible way, such as when bad times, for instance, find you or meet you, you know how to survive within those very bad days. You know how you react over certain situations. You don't wait or you don't repeat what is not necessary. For instance, I have been abroad. I have attended several winters every year. Winter comes, it goes. Summer comes, you have to keep changing clothes. You don't get fixed because you have spent a lot of money buying winter clothes. They are very expensive. But once winter is done, you accept to dress normally as summer dictates. Not to make yourself fixed. Many of the workers have left their countries in a fixed state. They have been crammed to go and act such as they have been told in the training centers or their companies. They reach Saudi Arabia, they want to react according to what was conditioned. Not knowing the practical bit of Saudi Arabia is different. Yes, they told you something about Saudi Arabia, and they told you how things can be possibly done. But when you reach there, not everyone will be raped because they told you in class, possibly Arabs can rape you. Not, you may survive, you may not be among those. Your boss may be better. You don't need to talk like as if, or to keep yourself in fear until you assert or cause problems. People have done so. You've learned to teach yourself to blend in. That I'm living this environment and I'm going to this environment. How do I margin and fit there? How do I blend in myself to appear to be one of them, not to be alien or to look awkward? And most importantly, that is what we call the mindset change or the growth mindset. Once you change your mindset towards something, that means you are from what was fixed, you advance yourself to a level where you can adapt otherwise to grow within that very setting accordingly. That is to a level of a worker, a mere worker, a person who is still seeking employment. You really badly need to change your mindset. If you do not, you're going to fail. Even here in Uganda, it is one thing that made you fail here. Otherwise, there are many people who are surviving in Uganda. And they're doing it. But because they know how to flex their minds, fitting here and there, they fixed the growth mindset people in Kampala here are called the abayiribi. That's the word they use. The bayiribi here in Uganda are the people who are not settled. They don't settle for less. They can acquire money in a day, you understand, from just petty things, such as assisting someone to carry someone's bag, such as getting a cloth from this shop, taking it to the other, sell it on the street, or exchange to just earn some interest out of it. And then he returns the capital. Bayiribi. These are the people who are not settled in mind. They create. They do not fear anything. They risk. So to a level of you being employed, if you want to improve yourself and stay in that area of being a job seeker, you understand? Because the word job itself means just being overblock. So if you want to always keep overblock, you want to remain a job seeker, that for you go to the campus, you learn, you study for being employed. If you want to assume that category, it is your right. It's okay. It's your choice. But you can also be better when you learn to create. Because the creator created was very creative. Look at the enormous stuff in the world today. God created funny things which you can't even know that they have value until discovered. You understand? And some of them are hidden. So would you say that God is mad or is the wisest? For you, if I'm to ask you in a day, how much have you created? Nothing. Many people in Kampala here are not creating. They wake up in a day fixed in mind because she was given a job. She wakes up, she dresses up well, and she was told that when you're going to work, dress up well. That's what she knows, fixed in mind. Dress up well, look nice, walk like this. That's what she is doing, fixed in mind. She goes there that when you enter an office, please knock, fixed in mind. Reach there, sit, clean, do ABCD, fixed in mind. And she continues doing that every day. Repeating the same thing, expecting different results to improve in her life. To give you an example, our teachers in school, even though they give us information, but these are the teachers of mindset. You understand? For those teachers who know, who take it to another level, their teaching philosophy now changes to teaching children or students towards self-authorship. That I'm producing students who are going to be themselves, not job seekers, who will create themselves. You get it? Just like you can bear a child, and he wakes up in the morning, you see him waking up, going to the washroom, getting a toothbrush, voluntarily without you telling him you must brush. But this boy now begins pushing himself to do things. He moves to the kitchen, he begins preparing breakfast without you telling him do it. But because he saw you doing it, he learned from there. The next day he's pushing himself. And even brings it in a better state than you didn't expect. You understand? So this is the mindset. The teachers of mindset are there, but if you're going to remain their student, stay in your comfort zone. What I'm teaching you, if you in your capacity, you are going to remain like that. You are going to remain a person whom they employ, a person who needs a job every time. Please change these two things. One, change the approach of this life towards that thing you want to achieve. Your approach must be very soft, very understanding, unconditional. You get it? That the people who acquire jobs and eventually turn into managers begin small. Your approach should be that it starts small, unconditional, that doesn't need a lot of requirements. Even when you are asking for a job, you may have a lot of documents, but when you want to get a better job and you want to work in a good industry, in a better organization, you may require to go there and first request to be the cleaner. Hello. When you have a degree to be the CEO of that company, you may require to change your approach. For someone who applies a growth mindset, your approach should be that soft and a bit undetectable. That you cannot detect, one cannot detect your mind sight. It must have that element of mind sight, which I will talk about later. The mind sight. It must be in that range of having a mindset tendency, trying to fit in, to merge in somewhere you may not be fitting, but you learn how to fit there, and you fit eventually. So if you must get it higher, you have to get yourself too low. That is the principle. For any bird that will fly high, it will just a bit lower itself. Even when the plane is taking over on the runway, it first take it across, then it takes up the upward. You understand? So now, if one wants to get there using the growth mindset, not the fixed mindset. For one with a fixed mindset, will wake up one day assuming, because this is what he was told in school, that when you want a job, write an application. And when you're writing an application, put everything systematic. Take it there. So this person will think things are given by force. Kumbe, even some jobs are acquired by who knows you, Technical know-who. You understand? Which they ignore. They ignore creating friendship to be known before they're employed. They ignore that. They say, after all, me, I have my books. I've been fixed to look for a job. I'm a professional job seeker. I have a PhD in job seeking. You understand? So actually, these professional job seekers, even when they get into government positions, these are the people who turn into doctors in safety. Yes, one who has a PhD in stealing, in embezzlement, like the recent Mabati people. You find someone is a doctor, but you wonder at her level, how can you involve yourself in such a level of concentration where they expect you to be conquer, and then you act as such. So now, for people who are still in the job seeking range, ought to have what we call the growth mindset. A growth mindset helps you. Even when you go in the working area, you've been assigned as a cleaner, you always do best to improve from that cleaning station where you're working. You go as a cleaner, but you dress up as a manager using your rag. Whoever sees you will not see you fit there. Will actually feel uncomfortable to let you stay there. Such a beautiful girl, how can she clean a toilet? No. Eventually, without even carrying an application, this person is going to come and bring you. Just like how men, women, our mothers were married. They were married off from their families because of their innocence. My mother told me she used to be a simple young short girl who used to be quiet, and she was very religious. When my father passed by someday around the village, she saw this girl crossing and said, Salaam alaikum. Just as simple as that. But because my father had the first wife, my first mother, who was notorious, and now my father saw a very innocent young girl, very religious, he thought of going with the innocent what? And then he came to propose to marry my mom. You understand? Many people have chosen to go with some women in societies because of their calmness, because of their way of fixing themselves, fitting anywhere, making themselves unconditional, though respectful. So they are chosen eventually to take the lead, and they have become the wives. Then the Nakapankas are there complaining. They are on TikTok. TikTok, yanchawa, yali moving you, yali akolacha. Oh, that can happen. So these are the people who apply the growth mindset. Similarly, the growth mindset helps workers in a working environment to be uplifted in positions at work, to be given a favorable environment. Once you become a calm worker, a very cool girl in a house, you don't argue with your boss. You're so respectful. You listen. You don't command. You don't wiseacre over your boss. Your boss is a boss. No matter what, when you do wrong, you are the very first person to say sorry. Even if your boss is wrong, you always feel touched. And then you execute the experience, that art of work. Wherever your boss puts you on the road or gives you a chance to take a lead, whatever they give you a chance to do something, you do it, like someone who had hidden experiences. So you end up surprising your boss, and your boss begins feeling uncomfortable to keep you in that position. This is how people have gotten appraisals in terms of salaries. Because time comes when you feel uncomfortable that this person is doing such good work, you cannot pay that tax. So you end up being appraised in salary. Many people have been given appraisals in salary because they have been found to be doing a lot than what was expected. So for a person who has a degree, it's better to go and ask for a cleaning job first. Many people have skipped that. Find yourself where you can fit to be a cleaner, either in KCCA. Hello. You go it there, you go it from down as a cleaner. Eventually, you're going to become the head of the cleaners in the city. They will realize during the time of your meetings, you are the person who speaks with some sense, some kind of civility. Not knowing you hold a master's degree, in city management. So as time goes, you become a leader of these wheelbarrow pushers. People will always find you to be a different person. And this is how you're going to thrive yourself to the top. Have you ever seen any tree that grows from top to down? Or they grow from down to the top? So this is where the calculation is. If you've messed up yourself there, I want to advise you, please change. And there is also another category, which is superb or superior. The superior category is that where your bosses, the people, the inventors, the innovators, the creators, where they lie. They are not lying in your zone. They don't. They have a different mind. They envisioned. These are the people who are self-employed. The people whom you cannot employ whatsoever. The people who begin businesses, who start up businesses. They are not in your range. Actually, they don't need to attend an education. They just start it as it is. They dream. These are the people who do not need to use a mindset. Do you know what they use? Actually, they are no nonsense. They don't use any mindset. Mindsets are used by the people, the job seekers, the common people. But for a creator, can you now tell me God needs a mindset? Does the creator of this world need a mindset? When you see whatever he created, whether bad or good, do you say that God needs to change his mindset? Everything fits. You understand? That's how even the creators that were created by God, the inventors, the starters of different businesses, big multinational projects, big organizations, these are self-made people. They are God-driven. They have visions. They have what we call the mind sight. They do not have a mindset. They use the mind sight. They look from within. Their minds left to the level of being set, but now they were opened to begin seeing. The minds that see themselves. A mind that is closed to see by itself is that mind that has changed to growth, the growth mindset. It is closed to see. Because once you have a growth mindset, you get exposed to so many things. You are flexible, first of all. You can get chances to work here and there. And as you go there, you get to accumulate experiences. By the time you acquire all those experiences enormously, you come out as a one complete person who can now have a mind sight. You know how to create. You know what you want. What haven't you seen? But it is through the mind set change, which is the growth mindset. A growth mindset can lead you to have a mind sight. These mind sights are special categories of geniuses, of people who see far. Omusisi wa pani ku kyalo can be a genius. He may know how to get rich simply by getting envisioned about how to begin making these pancakes every day. First of all, they are patient. They are never told how to be patient. They know how to take risks. They are not told how to run away when things get bad. You don't teach a mindset person. You don't teach him to be patient, to stay there. They are risk takers. They know when to ask questions, even though they have their own characteristics. You don't ask them. They hate being questioned. You know that? They hate because they know what they started. It is not in your copycat. It's not you don't have a master copy of whatever they dreamt. Whatever they dreamt, whether they had attained a PhD in it, it came. Some of these people have come to deliver others. Did you know that? In terms of changing the life, improving their lives, standards of living. Because a rich man at a village who started doing a business, which is feeding, who started a small shop, right, around the village. This person, Muchiga, started small, but eventually the whole village is running to Muchiga for any basic need. So don't you think this Muchiga is becoming purposeful to the village because of his mindset? He saw that there was a gap. And this is where some people have messed up. That some people think you can borrow someone's mindset, obstruct it or infringe it, and then you get it better than him. No. A dream is for someone, and it is always one. The original dream comes from someone who knows it. For instance, when it comes to issues of migrant workers, if the dreamer of this issue was one in a certain country, that person has a master copy. So whoever will come out to copy and try to duplicate may not succeed the same way. So the dreamers of ideas, these are people who are using a mind sight. Their minds see far. They don't have preconditions. They are unconditioned or unconditioned. They are natural. They are envisioned. Their power to create directly comes from God. Because even their businesses survive by God's luck. All the risk they take is by God's luck. Such people have trust in God. You understand? They only sometimes follow God And what God inspires them to do is what they do. They are used to benefit so many millions. That's why he keeps calling them that whoever gets in that high position, help those who cannot. God has gone ahead even to lower his people like Yusuf, to be bullied, mistreated, to be challenged, abused. But because he envisioned Yusuf to be patient, when he was dumped into the pit, he was patient until he was picked from there. And eventually God used his position, raised him in position because of the challenges he had gone through, to challenge and change the mindsets of his brothers and the family. So this can happen to you. Never feel regret when you're being challenged in life. You don't need to go to the neighborhood or the nearby shop and buy a rope for committing suicide, simply because things have failed to work out the way you thought. That I went to school, I have done ABCD, things have failed. No. You get it? Things can fail, but because God wants to make them success for you. So their failure in the beginning may mean success. And if you run away from them being failing, then you may not achieve the success that is behind it. So there are 3 stages I've told you here. I told you there's a fixed mindset, which most of the kadamas go with Saudi Arabia. Then there is what we call the growth mindset. That is the range of mindset which most of the job seekers, the youth of Uganda, use. For them, they are in that area. They are in that area of fighting for jobs, looking for who to work for. While the investors invade Uganda to create, because they see a big picture in Uganda, so they have a mindset about Uganda. And the Ugandans, the most common Ugandans who are the youth, they have a mindset about leaving Uganda, leaving the Ugandan situation, using a mindset, which we say mindset change. Change your mindset. So when somebody leaves Uganda, he says, omuntu akyusizzaako. But little do they know, even wherever they have gone, it is work, my friend. It is work. Work will not stop. Actually, it gets more. So they start now crying for Uganda when they're in Saudi Arabia. Say, now I want to go back to Uganda. You say confuse the mindset. They go with a fixed mindset, they enter Saudi Arabia. After entering Saudi Arabia, now they begin calling Uganda. Such stagnant people are the failures of this world. And if you emulate from them, or if you're going to go by their panics, then you're going to be, or you are yet to be infected. You should acquire, therefore, a mindset. Seek enlightenment from God to acquire the mindset. God to help you see a picture of your business, a picture of your own entity. Not even acquiring it after working for someone. That's wrong. It's still, you have Satan within your mindset. There is Satan obstructing you. That you must first work for someone to achieve something? No. You must agree to risk, to start it by yourself, to start it small as 100 shillings. If it is to start a shop, and you say, I'm going to start it, you get there, whether it rains or not. If it is to shoot the moon, the rich people do that. They set bigger targets, right? They have a bigger mindset. That I am going to shoot the moon, even if I fall, I'll land among the stars. It's about shooting the moon. That means the whole journey is about preparing a rocket. You can't reach in the middle when you are building the rocket and say, we don't have money, so therefore the rocket materials are too expensive, therefore we shall not manage. You run out. I have seen people running out of MIGRANT. But this is like a rocket. We are preparing to hit the moon. And our target is, even if we don't hit or shoot the moon, we shall land among the stars that brought a stepping stone to save the lives of Ugandans in this country. That's what it means. We don't need any salary if they don't want to give it to us. We actually need support. That's why we have been here, supported by the workers. With the small they bring, whether they bring it or not, to wait for support. As we do the work we assigned it to, we envisioned it to. So what is your vision? What is your sight? Or you still want to keep the mind set? You want to be tuned, right? Hello, Flavia, come, you have a job here. Who? Who told you that we'll give you a job without conditions? No one. So it's better now you sit and begin deciding your journey. Your tomorrow is what you are choosing today. Your tomorrow is decided by your decision today. You choose it, you respect it. I want to rest my case. Have I communicated? All right.